Hello. This is your boy Brandon Karaya, aka EF Fun of Entertainment, and we are back with another review. And the review we got today is Andor Episode 5. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you think you'd be interested in content like this, House of the Dragon reviews, Rings of Power reviews, Andor reviews, like I said, all the big name IPs that will be dropping, coming out in the future, I will be doing reviews for them. If you like trailer reactions, entertainment news updates, subscribe to the Brandon Karaya Network. You will not regret it. Now let's get into Andor Episode 5. Now this video shouldn't be a long one, and I say that all the time, and then it ends up running on because I just have a whole bunch of points that just come back to me that I want to go over. But with this episode, it really only took place in two settings, basically with Mon Mothma and her family, and Cassian and the group of rebels that he's with, and them just continuing their preparation for the heist. And also with the Imperial general that's kind of helping them out, that we saw come to the camp, that's providing them information from the base that they're gonna do the robbery from. And I'm a big fan of heist movies and heist themes, so this particular theme in these episodes I really enjoy. Just them prepping, them obviously seeing the distrust in each other, and which makes sense with just a new crew member being brought into the heist and into the plans right before they're about to do the heist. And honestly, this show is so good. And like, if you go back and watch like my earliest trailer reaction for this show when it was months away, I honestly was like, this is gonna be some of the best TV on Disney Plus, period. And when I watched this show, the writing, the acting, the dialogue, the storytelling is so elite that it doesn't even feel like it's Disney. It really feels like it's almost HBO level writing and storytelling. That's how good and high of a level this show is performing on with regards to storytelling and dialogue. It really does feel like HBO level, because this episode, there was barely any dialogue, barely anything said, but there was a lot of things shown to the audience through actions and minimal conversations. We basically get, I don't want to say in depth, but we really get a very good look into a lot of the characters and their motivations. And there was just a lot of good lines that were just said by characters that really just laid out for the audience where their heads were at, right? Like the one guy, I can't remember the character name, but the one guy that kind of came behind Cassian with the blade and took the kyber crystal from him. There was a point when he was apologizing and he was like, he's like, I always hated the Empire. He's like, what I feel now, he's like, I can't really describe a word for it. I mean, excellent dialogue. And then there was even just the line where I forgot who exactly said it, but there was someone that was like, everyone has their own rebellion. And it really just contextualizes why everyone would be fighting for, because certain people might be like, why would you risk your life to do these certain things? But everyone in their own way probably has a certain story that something happened to them, whether it was the Empire did something to a loved one or to them personally. All the people that end up joining the rebellion have their own specific reason as to why they think it's worth fighting for. So that was a very amazing and interesting line to put in there as dialogue, because it really just laid out a lot for just the movement and for the thinking of a lot of these characters. And another reason why this show is so excellent is this show is supposed to be Star Wars, but it's literally just taking place on like ground level, everyday things. Like they're literally just kind of in camp, kind of doing regular things, and then they'll kind of train. You go to Mon Mothma, and Mon Mothma is just having dinner with her husband and her daughter, and you're just seeing how with Mon Mothma, how she's just kind of like a woman backed in a corner with no one supporting her, right? She already mentioned that with regards to her trying to start this rebellion, there's a lot of eyes on her, and there's a lot of suspicion already pointed towards her. But then on top of that, it's like she doesn't even have like a safe haven at home because her husband is friends with a lot of the people that have these eyes on her, and it really seems like her daughter also kind of has that same kind of attitude towards her. So really in those moments, as it's just showing Mon Mothma at dinner, it's really just blatantly showing to the audience how she's just backed into a corner, and maybe why she feels like she needs to get to a point where she just ends up kind of leaving completely and just joining the rebellion fully, because it really feels like where she is, she has no support at all. And that's what's amazing about this show, is that good shows are able to show their audience what they need to convey instead of blatantly telling the audience this is what's happening. Mon Mothma is uncomfortable at home. They're showing it with a brief dinner scene, just showing how uncomfortable it is for her. But again, even when you bounce back to camp, there's just these ground level small conversations that really just lay out where everybody's head is at, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And there was a conversation between Cassian and Karis, the kind of like smart techie one that I honestly, he's like my favorite character so far, but I'm sure that he's probably gonna die very soon, because it seems like his motivations and his way of thinking is something that a lot of us would be like, yo, that's awesome. So it really seems like he's probably gonna, we're probably gonna get attached to this guy, and he's probably gonna hit you know what I mean, bite the bullet. I could just see it. But I really like his character, and there was just a lot of dialogue coming from him about using old technology, and the Empire has us using their technology, which is part of their trap and part of their system of control. And he really goes deep into the empirical structure, but also it laying out, it has a bigger message of it reflecting in real life, right? So it was just some amazing dialogue from Tony Gilroy in this show, right? And I even mentioned, and I forgot to mention about the moment where the other setting in the show was it going to Cyril, which was like the corporal officer that was chasing Cassian, and his mom's house, where we saw him end up the end of last episode. And the episode started off with him just basically looking up at the stars and then looking at a hologram of Cassian. And without even saying anything, you really just got how this guy was feeling, his motivations, and what he's going to be trying to do going forward, right? And you just really felt his rage and his dislike towards Cassian just in that moment without a word being spoken. And then there was just a lot of good dialogue between him and his mom, and the mom calling in their uncle, and it seems like the uncle's a very high-powered person, so I'm interested to see who that ends up being. But the conversations between them is really good, and it's just, even when it was bouncing back to this part, I wasn't like, oh, like why are they coming back to this part? Like, I really enjoyed those moments in the show, in the episode, also when he was just having those conversations with his mom, because the dialogue is so good. Like, it really is HBO type level dialogue. So I think that might be it for this episode review. Honestly, like I mentioned, this episode was really just them setting up and getting in place to pull off the heist next episode. It basically ends with the guys in the group camped out by the garrison, and I think her name was Val, and the other girl that was in the small rebel group, they went off to do something else. And it seems like next episode is going to be where it pops off into the big heist event. And what I'm guessing is, I think that from what I've heard is this show is kind of being packaged off in 3, because there's going to be 12 episodes. We got the first 3 episodes, which was really focused on Cassian, and it now seems like episode 6 is going to be the heist episode. So I'm wondering if when episode 7 comes, if it's going to be somewhat of a time jump, or just a bit of a gap for other events to kind of pop off, and if we'll maybe have Cassian meet other groups of rebels because Luthen wants him to kind of do other things. I'm wondering if there's gonna be kind of like a dialogue change, or just like a plot change in a way when it gets to the next set of 3, like episode 7 starts. So that is it for this review. Another amazing episode out of Andor. I already knew this show was gonna deliver, and it absolutely is delivering. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you think you'd be interested in content like this, Andor reviews, House of Dragon reviews, Rings of Power reviews, trailer reactions, entertainment news updates, all that good stuff, subscribe to the Brandon Cry Network. You will not regret it. I appreciate you for watching. Catch you next time.